Hello, welcome to the It's All Good show. Luke is here for a chat. My guest today is Dilyana Mileva, and we'll talk about her in a few seconds. But before we get started, I want to introduce why I call this show It's All Good. Luke is here for a chat. First of all, because I have guests every single week. Today is the week 85 of having a wonderful guest coming to me and being interviewed. And the reason also why it's called It's All Good, because first of all, it's my favorite cup. It's all good. And it's the way I think in my life. Whatever happened in my life, I always say it's all good. I might give myself a minute or a minute and a half of being, what's going on? And then I calm myself down and say, okay, it's all good. I have to find what's good into that. Maybe the good thing come in the future, and I don't know about it. So all I can do is be happy today, recognize that today is the best day of my life, and move forward. I have experienced things of the past, even 5 seconds ago is the past, where things don't go so well, but I can't change it. I've tried several times to change the past, and I'm never able to. And sometimes I'm planning for the future. There's things that I'm organizing and planning, and everything is like A, B, C, D, and that's the way that's going to work out. And you know what? It doesn't always work out the way we plan. So there's no point getting so stressed out and have anxiety about the things of the future, because it might change. It's good to plan, it's good to know where you're going, but just be aware that it might not turn out the way you expect. And guess what you said that time? It's all good. So when you go back and always say, hey, it's all good, things will come to you in a miracle way and things will create. I've had a client a couple of weeks ago that was very disappointed because she wanted to spend March break at a certain place and the plan didn't work out. She had all planned, we're going to leave that day and all that, and it didn't turn out that she couldn't go. She was very disappointed and bummed out and on not understanding why that wasn't working out. And then in the end, she got a phone call a few days later about a contract she needed to work on. And if she would have been at her destination, she would not have been able to work on that contract and she might have lost the contract. So you see, in the end, it's all good. So you never know what's going to come to you, and you always have to keep a positive mindset and keep yourself open for the future and the beauty in the world. So without any further delay, I'm going to introduce you to Dilyana Mileva. She's a menopause and sleep specialist, and let's welcome her to the stage. Welcome, Dilyana. I'm so happy to have you here.
My pleasure, my dear.
It's such a pleasure to have you. We've known each other for before COVID, I think, like a 3 4 years, and we both grew our business side by side, doing our own little things. And then I've decided, I say, hey, you got to come on my show. You have a lot to say, and I'm sure people will be very appreciative of what you bring to this world. So tell me a little bit about what you do and what got you into starting into that field.
I helping women to connect better in their body and mind during the journey of transition period of their life, so that they become more happier, healthier, and more relaxed during this time of challenges. As you
Mhm.
know, the time of perimenopause and menopause can be really challenging period of woman's life. This is a period when the emotional, mental, and physical change happen. It's
Mhm.
not always easy. And I was inspired to because my heart was broken when I saw so many women suffer. I don't know where to go, what to do with these challenges. And I myself went through really emotional crash, fatigue, extremely fatigue, burnout, sleep issue. I also experiencing most of the symptoms of perimenopause, and I find a way to heal myself, and that was my call to share my knowledge with others.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, teaching from experience, it's always the best way to go about, because like for me too, like I when you talk about stress and all that, like I've had my moment of stress in my life, and I found my way to say it's all good, right? To live my life and not to worry about what just happened and not worry about what's going to happen in the future. So I think it's awesome, and that's what makes the best coaches, right? Because they've lived their life, they walked the path, and they were able to resolve. So tell me of but like for me, I have my own transition, but for you, you went through that. And but what led you to say, hey, let me help others? Like how did that came about for
I
you
think
to become a
inside
coach?
call that you know that uh it's really was inside call, and then it was kind of I was drawn to help this specific target market because I saw that it's not easy, and I'm inspired when it's not easy. So when it's challenging, and then nobody want to listen because they know or they think that the hormone replacement therapy is the only way of deal with
Mm,
that, which I'm strongly disagree. That can be
yeah.
one of the way, but not the only one. There's so many other natural way that if you're aware of what's going on, if you know what's happening with your body and you learn to listen the body and just really slow down and nurture yourself, you can help yourself without going through this medication, without going through this extreme you can I cannot say that it's gonna disappear. You just learn how to live with that without be miserable. Because I think the mindset is the crucial in this period of time, because how
Hmm.
you approach and see the things is
Yeah.
gonna dictate how you gonna live there.
Yeah. So now people that are listening, I'm sure some of them are asking, okay, yeah, that's cool, no hormone and do it the natural way, but what are the natural way to heal the symptom of perimenopause and menopause? So what are some of the a few example of what you help your clients with?
Is really lifestyle changes is and also diet changes, and diet is really really important. So you need to switch in more appropriate diet, rich of estrogen foods, more whole green foods, more nuts, more seeds, more rich of what probably missing in this period of time. So definitely the diet is something that you have to take in consideration. Also, the way you exercise, it's preferable that you slow down and make priority kind of parasympathetic activity, more relaxing activity, not so much if you take in a yan, not so much yan, not so much cardio, not so much pushing. I don't say that it's not necessary. It's necessary also, the combination of all this, but more time for reset and more time for relax. Of course, the one of more important things is to prioritize the sleep.
What's parasympathetic activities? I have no idea.
It's
I might know what that is, but the words itself was like,
okay, that's kind of you trigger your vagus nerve. Again, it's a terminology that you may not everybody know, but it's kind of relaxing. So it's just to relax the brain. It's listen the music, walking in the nature, practice yoga, tai chi, qigong, something which is a small motion of not so fast paced activity. So whatever it's feel good for you, can be massage, can be um, just walking in the nature. Yoga is but specific type of yoga, restorative yoga, more yoga nidra kind of type of meditation, breathing, mindfulness, this type of activity.
okay, so no kickboxing, no
No kickboxing. No, not really. Yeah, extreme jumping
extreme
on the mat.
sport, or
Extreme
like.
sports, yeah,
But
because
and
you need.
why is that? Why is that you think that it's better to have more parasympathetic exercise than high intensive exercise? What
Because of the
difference does it make?
cortisol, because the cortisol, you not don't need so much to manage the stress. You need to manage the cortisol in this period of time. Very often the cortisol also is related with other hormonal changes, so as estrogen and progesterone, it's influence them. So you need to keep cortisol in normal level. If it's too high, you cannot sleep in the evening, and in the morning you wake up tired, and then
Mm-hmm.
during the day you turn out that you're exhausted, you cannot concentrate, and that affect our productivity, our relationship, how we react with
Mm-hmm.
others.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the cortisol level you need
Okay.
to keep. low.
So when people have high intensity workout, that creates more
Yeah,
cortisol,
that's
and
increase the yeah, it's double actually. It make it more high. And you don't want this in this period of woman's life. You don't know. Don't want this. You need little bit cardio, but I can suggest 30 minutes to 3 times per week, but not in the extreme as you when you're younger. You can do longer hours. You can do cycling. You can do more activity in the same time, same day even, but I can say in this age, you need just to slow down and really be more mindful of this cortisol.
hmm and so you wouldn't recommend like hit workout and things that are more
Mm,
intensive, right? Like
not so
more
much.
like.
Yeah, yeah, once in a while, but not really be the practice and routine in your everyday life.
And is it something that a woman can integrate into their lifestyle once they pass the menopause symptoms and all that? Do you think that's okay to integrate that at that time?
I think after 40, you can start to really take in consideration change little bit activity and exercise. Going to 50, definitely that can be show up in your body. You can start to get a little bit more tired very often. So that's the sign that, okay, it's now the time to relax more and not so much to push ourselves as you was
hmm
in the 20s. Yeah.
So listen to your body. That's what I hear, right? So what,
Yeah,
however your
listen your
body
body.
responds, however your body respond to whatever you do in a daily basis. Like I was very lucky. I never had much symptom of, perimenopause or menopause, or like I didn't have the night sweat. I didn't have the sweat, like you wait in the middle of the day. It's like, oh my God, it's so hot, like like the heat wave, whatever people call that. I never had those. I was pretty smooth sailing. So I'm very blessed for that. So but I know a lot of people are very suffering, and you mentioned that things about sleep, and you're a sleep specialist. So why is it important to the sleep during the importance of the sleep during perimenopause and menopause? So why it's more important than any other time?
It's important with other stuff that I just mentioned, but it's one of the things that you need to reset, rejuvenate our body and mind with sleep. Because if you cannot sleep enough, you don't feel good. And you don't feel good about ourselves. You are exhausted. You're frustrated. And that can
Mm.
also aggravate the other symptoms. Like it's a vicious circle actually. Sometimes hot flashes and night sweats can interrupt the sleep. That can affect the energy level and the next day how you feel, but also how you going through the day. That's also affect your sleep. If you're overstressed, you don't manage this cortisol, that can affect. So sleep is important for your overall well-being, and how really how our brain function, because if you
Mhm.
don't get this enough sleep, you don't oxygenate the brain enough, and in the next day you forget a lot, you cannot concentrate, you're all over the places, and then that's also can affect these mood swings and all this. So when you don't sleep, you're very irritable, very easy irritable. So that it's relate. You just relate to so many things. This is just one of the most important things to nurture yourself and feel really rested, so that you manage the other hormones.
So how can you help people, because you call yourself a sleep specialist also, right? So how do you support people like that says, well, I go to sleep and then I have a hard time falling asleep, or I fall asleep and I wake up 3 hours later and I'm wide awake. And so how can you support people this way? Like what do you give them as advice for
I'm
that?
just gifted with this gift to relax the people, make them very, very comfortable, put them in sleep. Just talking about I'm a sleep fairy
You're
that
boring,
puts
is that
them
what
to
you're saying? I'm like, okay. But do you have audio that you send them? Do you have
Yeah, I have all these tools. There's a specific type of meditation and
okay.
breathing, but most of them I teach them how to do themselves this um, relaxing activity to put the brain to sleep.
Oh,
Even
great.
even if you wake up in the middle of the night, or you wake up too early, you cannot sleep, and feel still that you need this rest. So there's a study that actually 1 hour of meditation can replace 4 hours of sleep. So depend of type of meditation. If you learn
Mm-hmm.
a really good meditation, that's replace this missing hours of sleep.
Mm-hmm. Because it does put you in theta mode in some ways. I mean,
Yes,
it's just as good as if you were sleeping in some ways, even though your mind is occupied to listen to the guided meditation, but
yes.
it bring you to lower sense for sure. And just taking notes here because I love what you're saying. And but also I heard you talk about, like breathing and all that. So do you teach a lot of breath work with your clients?
Yes, that's actually my main focus, my main healing tool, if you like.
Okay.
uh, because if you learn how to breathe properly and use the full capacity of your lungs, that can help also, as I say, with oxygenation of the blood circulation in the brain, and can help with sleep, with energy level, with hormone balance, and you again put this cortisol in the normal level, and also reduce the stress, anxiety, all this panic attack that can happen. It's yeah, I think it's the main healing tool that it's a free, but people don't know how to use it. If you learn with somebody, with some expert, there's so many types of breathing these days. A breath work,
Mm-hmm.
you call breath work when you control the breath in specific way. So this is some kind of space in the way that you breathe. But actually, if you want just normally to breathe with the belly, not with the chest, you can reduce the stress, reduce the hot flashes, reduce the mood swings, and feel really in peace and more. Just can control yourself, because that's the thing that's happening going through these challenges, that you think that you lose control. You're not more in control in your life, in yourself, what was going on. Using the breath and remember the breathing properly, that can help you huge.
So would you feel comfortable to show an example of the way you teach people to breathe better?
I just warn them how to focus on exhalation and make exhalation longer than inhalation, how to
Okay.
start be aware how they breathe, so that they really need to be grounded. You need it's the best is if you feel the foot ground down on the floor, or if you're sitting, you really sit down, feel the grounding with the tailbones down on the floor. Your spine need to be straight, erected, and
Mm-hmm.
it's preferable to be sitting, but just to be aware of your posture, of your breath. And you can close the eyes. It just take this deep inhale from the pelvic floor.
Let me sit. I want to try. So I'm sitting square. My feet are
And
tipping a little
yeah,
bit, but
yeah,
that's okay.
yeah,
So I'm
feel the
not touching the
grounding
back of
down.
the chair.
Yeah, and
Okay.
not lay down. Yes, not lay
No, no,
down. It's
exactly.
you.
Because then you're kind of curling your back and you're
Yeah, curling your
compressing your
back.
lungs, right?
So you
Okay,
have
so
to
I'm not
be, if
touching the
you
back.
have these handles and the hands on the handles on your laps,
Mm-hmm.
but the main is your spine is straight, your
Yeah.
shoulders is relaxed. You feel your your facial muscle relax also. You just begin to observe the breath. Just breathe through the nose, observe the breath, how you breathe. Notice how you breathe. And then you can put one hand on the belly, one on the chest, and just feel how the breath move. When you inhale, you need to push the hand with the belly, and then extend towards the rib cage up, go away all the way to the top of the head, to the crown of the head, and then hold. And then slowly exhale through the nose, relax everything down, pause, and then again, you take this deep inhale with the belly, you extend to the top of the crown and hold. Exhale slowly longer. And then again, full breathing. Slow exhale. And pause again. You just breathe normal, observe how you breathe. And then feel the movement. Yeah, that's the when you become aware and consciousness, that's kind of consciousness breathing.
Yeah.
When it become habit, it's just automatically you start to breathe in this way more than with this shadow breath in the chest only.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, it then can help really uh, immediately can alleviate your stress level, your if you feel some pressure, you some tension, sometimes even our neck is stiff or because of this pressure of this stress and everything. When you start breathing, you just open the body, open the mind, feel
Yeah.
more relaxed, grounded, and
And we
present.
work with oxygen, right? Like we can go without water for a certain period of time. We can go without food for a long period of time. But you can go without breath for more than, there's experts, I guess. What's the record? I don't know, but maybe 5 minutes max, like I don't know anybody that can't
Yeah,
not breathe.
yogi can retain the breath longer, but it's of course, a training. It's a type of practice and
Yeah.
also a way
Yeah.
how they do it. But for the normal person, yeah, you cannot stand without air much.
No.
And then you're not conscious. You take this for granted. And you're not conscious now aware how you breathe. That's the main problem in our disease.
You mentioned about breathing out with the nose. What's the difference between breathing out with the nose as opposed to breathing out with the mouth?
When you breathe through the nose, most of the time inhale and exhale, you just kind of more retain. And then when you exhale again through the nose, it's kind of you keep circulation better. When you exhale through the mouth, you kind of use little bit energy. But I also alternate when you want to ventilate to open the mouth and just open the mouth and exhale. But most of the time, if you want to breathe through the nose, because it's the normal breathing, that's the
Mm-hmm.
normal, better breathing through the nose, using the full capacity of the lungs with the belly. That's the way you need to breathe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because if
And
you open the mouth, and most of people open the mouth, and even they exercise, you lose the energy.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what I feel also when I breath with my nose is it's not so rush to get the air
Mm-hmm.
out, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
slower. So I felt more relaxation into my body by breathing out with the nose, that it's more control as opposed to the mouth, like, like
Yeah,
this,
you tend
like
to
with
do
the
that when you want to exhale everything, all the negativity.
yeah, yeah. That technique can be good for some things, but not
For some
for
things, yeah, if you
yeah,
want to really get toxin or
yeah,
something that really want to get out of the body for sure, yeah, for
yeah.
sure. But usually, yeah, it's better through the nose.
And when you say breathing with the belly, is to really, instead of doing, people do that, right? When you say take a big deep breath and they
Yeah,
raise your shoulders and so they're breathing up more. But breathing with the belly is like your shoulders should stay stable and
should stay down. Yeah,
just increase the lower part of your lungs, right?
yeah,
Like, I mean,
because
the
now you
belly.
take
Yeah.
a really full breath from the diaphragm, not just for the
Yeah.
chest.
Open up the
The
ribs, almost
diaphragm.
feel the rib cage open up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. I like different breathing techniques, but it makes a huge difference in
It's good
and
to
the thing.
experiment. I love to experiment different style, different things, different for different purposes, right? As you
Yeah,
say that.
yeah. And tell me about um like how can people like be in touch with you, or how can they reach you? How can they they're curious now, they listen to this and say, oh, I don't know if she could help me, or I know someone that that is going to menopause, and maybe she can help them. So how can people reach you?
So, as you know, I have also podcasts that they can listen, that can be helpful
Nice.
for them to for their struggle. It's also everything in my website, which is menopausesupportacademy.com. and there they can have this free gift that I give to you and that you show right now. Also, and they can listen to the podcast. They can get in touch with me and start from there. I have also Facebook group that they can join for free and learn from some tips and strategy there. It's balance, perimenopause, and menopause. And also in LinkedIn, the people who are professional here in LinkedIn. I'm also in the LinkedIn with
Mm-hmm.
my name, so they can find me there too.
Wonderful. And you say you had that gift, which is go on the website and slash
Yes.
relief, and then they can have
Relief.
a.
It's 21 symptoms relief with 3 steps with specific breathing techniques that you
Oh,
just
nice.
have a glimpse of. So they can start right away to experiencing the effect of this breathing to their symptoms. And yeah, it's called, I think, yeah, exactly 3 steps to relieve your symptoms. Yeah.
Oh, great, great. And so I've seen also that you've been traveling a lot and speaking internationally. So do you want to talk about that, about your expertise and going to talk all around the world about your business? I think that's
Yeah,
pretty exciting.
I think I want to reach a million of women around the world. They create a movement to empower them and to find their power during this transition period of their life because you have so much wisdom. And I believe that when women it's in harmony, all world it's in harmony. We affect
Mm.
everybody around us, even the what happen around on the world. Uh, because of the women is so powerful and I want to show and share with everyone and everybody in the big stages that the power of women unleash their magic during this actually the
Yeah.
transition period, but just to become better version of themselves.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. I like that. So you've been to different places. You've been to Paris, you've been to Florida, you've been to Dallas,
Yeah.
speaking on all those stages. So that's pretty exciting.
Yes, it was exciting to share my message in my story because I share mainly my story, why I start to
Mm.
do what I'm doing, how I get inspired to do what I'm doing, and to give this hope that it's possible
It's
to have,
possible to get
it's
out of
possible
that
to get out of
drama
this.
of menopause.
No, no, you don't need to suffer, you don't need to be miserable. Hey, you're not the one.
Yes, yes. There's Eliana to help you go through, and support you. And so let's see if there's one more tips that you would like to give our audience. What would that be?
Love yourself more in
Mm.
this period of time. Know that you're beautiful, you're powerful, you mean to create a better place, to create a better world. So that just believe in yourself and nurture yourself, take care of yourself. And this self love and self compassion is so important.
And they don't have to do it alone.
No, you're not the one. You're so
Wonderful.
many women out there who are together with this, going beyond.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Liliana. You brought so much value to this call, to this recording, and to the audience. I'm sure a lot of women will reach out to you because we can't escape it. There's a few lucky like me that have no symptoms, but the majority of people that I encounter, they do have, all these symptoms, and they don't have to suffer about that for sure. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. So just say that I'll be right back with you. Wow, that was amazing. I hope you got value out of that. And if you're a man watching this, make sure you show that to your wife or girlfriend that is in her late 40s, 50s. She might benefit from that. And if you like, what you've seen, this is all my shows are on YouTube. So subscribe to my YouTube channel. And every time I have a new show coming up, you'll get notified that I have a new guest that is coming to see me. And also, if you want to book a time with me, also as a serenity expert, I'm here to empower you also to work on your mindset and to work. Dilyana and I, we kind of attached to one another in some ways because I work with professional 50 and overs that want to rock the second half of their life. I'm not a specialist in menopause, but I'm a specialist into changing your mindset to change the way your life will be for the future. And because it doesn't have to, even if you had, trouble in the past, you don't have to drag those trouble with you as you age. You can just decide to have a new start and rock the second half of your life and shift from crisis to oasis. So if you'd like also to be on my show, send me a message to talk with Denise, reach out to me, and I would be happy to have you on my show. So until next time, be kind to one another, and I'll see you every Monday on my channel. Goodbye.